Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Lewis and here we talk about everything to do with money, how to grow your income and personal finance. And today we're just going to take a quick look at where I currently am. As you will have noticed, hopefully I'm setting out on a new journey here in creating YouTube content, hoping to educate my viewers and anyone that's watching on personal finance and how you can grow your own income. So yeah, today we're just going to take a look at where I am and where I'm starting from as I go on this journey to grow my own income and hopefully grow yours as well. Now, before I get stuck into where I'm at, I wanted to answer probably what's the most obvious question that jumps out is why I'm sharing my income information. And really the answer to that question is I think it's really important to be transparent. If I'm here creating content and sharing hopefully really useful information with you, and I'm sure for a lot of people starting in the same position that you currently find yourself in, or maybe I'm a little bit ahead, or maybe I'm a little bit behind of some of you, but hopefully my position will allow you to then be able to relate to my content. And to be able to do that, I should be transparent with where I'm at. So yeah, I'm going to give you an exact breakdown of exactly where all of my different money categories, where they currently are and what I'm looking to do with them. Our starting point today is going to be my salary and my income numbers. That seems like the most sensible place to start because it can show you what I've got coming in each month. Now, if you've watched any of my budgeting videos before, depending on when you're watching this video, hopefully you will have seen some of my other videos as well in the past where I actually go through in a budget spreadsheet how my money works, where I've got money coming in, where it's going out. So some of you probably will have already seen potentially where my money comes from on a monthly basis. But just in case you haven't, I've just popped a box just up here that shows roughly the average monthly income I have coming in. So this is a combination of money that comes in from my job and then any money that I also make from side hustles. So at the moment, a side hustle that I'm really working hard on is using an app called Airtasker to help people that have sort of manual labor-based tasks that they need support with, things like, I don't know, putting up a shelf or some gardening or things like that. It's something that I quite like doing, quite enjoy, and it's a good thing to do if you have spare time and you're looking to monetize that spare time. So I spend quite a bit of time doing that, and it's a side hustle that I'm pushing quite heavily at the moment. But yeah, as you can see, I'll put the box back up here now. As you can see, I've got some money coming in from my salary. So yeah, being transparent at the top, yeah, my salary comes in from my 9 to 5 job that I work normally, which is just over £3,000 a month, which when you multiply it out comes to just over £50,000 a year. So that's my salary in my job at the moment. I'm a marketing manager. So yeah, I'm certainly very happy with that salary. It's allowed me to do things such as buy this home that we're living in now and a few other things. So that's giving me a really, really good base. Now I appreciate there's probably a few of you seeing that number that maybe your salary isn't quite there or your salary is beyond that. And I just go back to that point I made at the start that I'm hoping that just by being transparent with these numbers doesn't mean that your situation is maybe exactly the same as mine, but it allows you to see how I break my income down. And they should be able to take some information from that and apply it to your situation, how you can break your money down and how you can make best use of it. So yeah, I've got my money coming in from my salary, and then I also have a little bit of money coming in from Airtasker, as you can see. I've averaged this out on like the last few months. Some months I do really well from it and I've managed to get several jobs in and earn a couple of hundred, 200, £300. Then there's other months that are really quiet, either because I've got lots on. Funnily enough, as I said, I work 9 to 5, so it's not always easy to get Airtasker jobs in. So I have to do them outside of my normal 9 to 5, whether that be in evenings or whether that be at weekends. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of probably the most important one that's giving me my foundation for where I'm going with my finances, and that is my income. So yeah, those are my numbers that I've got coming in each month. The next one that I'm going to pop up on the screen here, and the second kind of important area that I'm spending a lot of time working on at the moment, is my emergency fund. So this number here is what you can see that I've currently got in my emergency fund. So where has that number come from? So that number, being honest, really is my life's work for saving. And I appreciate then that might not seem like a lot. I've had money go into that account. I've had money come out of that account for various things over the years, probably before I went on this journey to really dive into my finances and know how to set up my finances correctly and make the best use of the money that I've got coming in. I wasn't particularly good with my savings account. It certainly wasn't an emergency fund. It was just a savings account. And I used that money if I ever needed to get out of a hole, or I'd had a semi-large expense coming up, pay for holidays. Those sorts of things is what it was being used for. So I've changed and shifted my position on this account now for it to be an emergency fund. Now, an emergency fund, I'm going to do a separate video on the details of an emergency fund, why they're important, how to set them up, how to work towards saving for them. All of those things I'm going to cover in a separate video. But for the purpose just quickly of this video, an emergency fund is a pot of money that in an ideal world would be 3 to 6 months of your current salary to allow you to cover any essential costs or bills or anything like that that might come up. And really, its primary focus is that if you were to lose your job, that money would be able to provide for you for 3 to 6 months to enable you to be able to get another job. So that's the most important thing that money is for. And to be able to grow that, my mindset has had to shift away from what I use that money for. So I'm very much thinking of it now as its purpose is to serve if I were not in my job for any reason, anything were to change, that is then what that fund is for. So a good way to work out how much money you need in your emergency funds is to top up all of your essential costs that you have every month. So go through and top up all of your bills, anything that you have to pay for every month, any debt payments, car payments, all of those things. Tot up all of those amounts and that will give you a number for the month. Then you want to be working towards an emergency fund that is between 3 and 6 times that number. So working out from my perspective, my current position would mean that I need about £1,800 to £1,900 a month of bare essential expenses that I could probably just about get by on. So that would mean cutting back literally everything in my life. That would be paying for my bills, paying for food, even cutting back how much I use my car and things like that. That's what that money is there for. So I'm on a bit of a journey to move that emergency fund up to somewhere between £6,000 and £9,000, because that will give me a bit more of comfort if I were to ever lose my job or anything were to change about my financial situation. So yeah, I'm currently, as you can see, on between 4 and 4,500 and looking to move that number up. So it's going to form a big part of my finances, my budgeting videos. Again, I've mentioned before, if you go back and watch them, moving money into my emergency fund over the coming months once I've paid off some debt that I'm carrying is going to be a really important part of my journey. And in this next section, I'm going to cover off my pensions and investments, another really important part of any financial journey or financial planning that you're looking to do. Investments and pensions form a massive part of that because they are so important. So popping them up on the screen here, I've got 2 boxes, so 2 sets of money that I've got that relate to these things. So the top box, you can see the high number, that is currently my total pension with my job that I have at the moment. So I've been working in my current role for 3.5 years now, so I've been able to accrue a good amount towards my pension. And just recently I've made probably the most important decision I've ever made with my pension, and if you take anything out of this video today, please take this point away with you, is that I'm actually maxing out my employer contributions to my pension now, and I've recently made a change to that. So my employer offers a matched contribution up to a certain percentage, and I have just increased my contributions to match my employer's contribution. So I'm now getting the maximum amount out of my pension that I can by putting in the money that I'm putting in, and that is matched by my employer. Now, if I were to increase the amount I'm putting in, my employer wouldn't go any further from where they are now. So that's why I say that maxing out the matched amount. So that's where I've just got to with my pension, which means I've got the maximum amount of money going into my pension that I can get effectively tax-free, free from my employer, based on the contributions they have to make. So yeah, if you take anything away today, take that away. Go away and have a look at your current workplace pension. And make sure that you're maxing out your employer contributions. Make sure you read kind of the ins and outs of how it works. Pensions are one of those things that lots of people shy away from, but they are really important, and they're going to make a big difference to you later in life. So the earlier you start, the better position you're going to be in later in life to be able to do the things that you want to do, or maybe even retire early, which is something that I'm looking to do and is mentioned in a few of my other videos. So yeah, make sure you go away and have a look at those. So yeah, I've got a couple of boxes up there, both my pensions. So the top one is my workplace pension, and the second one is my other workplace pensions that have been pulled together from previous jobs that I've been in. So I've had a couple of other previous jobs before the one that I'm in now. So I've been away and I've managed to pull those pensions out of from where they were previously, kind of forgotten about in previous jobs, and I've put them into a personal pension that is I have control over on a day-to-day basis in my investment app. So I have these pensions in Nutmeg, and I have moved both those pensions into there from previous jobs so that I can see exactly how much money I've got, and I pair that money with the money I've got in my current workplace pension, and that gives me a total amount of money I have in pensions at the moment. So yeah, probably a second key takeaway is if you've worked previous jobs and you don't know where your older pensions are from those jobs, then please go back and try and find that information, because so many workplace pensions get lost. People forget about them, forget that they even contributed to them, didn't know they even contributed to them. So go back through all of your jobs and make sure you have a look at whether you had a workplace pension set up and where that money currently is. And then the second part of this section is investments. So it's kind of the same thing, but not the same thing as going through pensions before. So obviously contributing to your pension is, as discussed, something that comes via your workplace and also via contributions that you make out of your pay slip before your net money makes it into your bank account. My investments category, which I have now put up here on the screen with how much I've got in there, that money is extra money that I put into an investing account. So it's a ISA, stocks and shares ISA, that I invest this money into, which means that I get it nicely wrapped away from tax. So therefore, I don't pay any tax up to £20,000 worth of contributions as per the ISA rules in the UK. So I contribute extra money towards that every month to go into a stocks and shares ISA that I've created, which has got a select amount of global index funds in there that I've personally selected, and that money goes into that account as extra investments basically for me every month. So I'm using that money to help me move towards my overall objective of being able to retire early. So combining my pensions that you saw previously and this number that you see up here, I'm looking to get as much money as I can and reach my final financial independence number as quickly as possible so that I'm able to retire early. So yeah, you effectively take this number here, pool it with the money I've got in my pensions, and that gives you an overall view of where I'm actually at the moment in terms of saving towards, hopefully, an early retirement. And the last piece of the puzzle that kind of gives a picture of where I'm at in terms of my financial journey is a category that probably divides opinion, but it's something that I've spent a lot of time working on over the last few years, and it's something I have invested a lot of my time into to understand and get kind of a grip on is collectibles. So I am outing myself on this video, I'm a massive Pokemon collector. I have been for years, collecting Pokemon cards since I was a kid, particularly lots of vintage stuff that I have that's kind of personal, very much personal to me. It's something that I've always been really, really passionate about. As time has gone on, I've also moved in more towards kind of collecting sealed Pokemon products for both my own personal benefit, because I love having the collection, but also for long-term investment gains. So yeah, I'm going to pop up on the screen here, which might surprise a few people, how much money I've actually got tied up in collectibles at the moment. Now, this is something that's very, very, very specific to me, and I would advise and provide caution to you with this point, because collectibles are not for everybody, and you have to know what it is that you're looking for and understand the market of what you're collecting to know whether collecting, long-term collecting and potentially collecting as an investment opportunity is something for you. So please don't just jump straight into this, see that number and think, oh great, we're going to go and buy some Pokemon cards and they're going to make me loads and loads of money. That's not going to happen. I can promise you that's not going to happen. I have taken a lot of time and had a lot of sort of negative growth and lost some money in this market to really then be able to get to where I am now in this position. So yeah, as you can see, over £10,000 invested in my collectibles. Now, if you bring all of my assets together, the pensions, the investments, cash funds, emergency fund, and then my salary, if you bring everything together, I would personally take the view that I'm overweighted in collectibles. Collectibles are incredibly risky. Their prices can be really, really volatile. I've seen it a couple of times in the time I've been collecting sealed Pokemon products, that the prices can really peak and really trough very quickly. It's highly unregulated, so it's not something that, as I say, I would advise going for unless you are really, really confident in what you're doing and understand. And to be honest, you should only really go into collectibles if you're actually really passionate about the thing you're collecting. You shouldn't go into collectibles to just try and make money, because you won't make money. You should be going into collectibles with a view to it being a passion, something of yours, and if it grows on the side, great. And that's exactly what I've done here to get to where I am now. It's taken me several years of cherry picking certain products that I want in my collection, cards that I want in my collection, and then bringing them all together to get to this number here. So this amount here is slightly separate to the rest of my funds because I'm not actually using this to contribute towards my financial future, retiring early. This money and this collection has been separated out of my overall portfolio because I'm using this to get towards one of my other objectives that I'm looking to achieve, which is a joint objective I share with my wife, which is we are looking to eventually buy, and don't judge us here, looking to eventually buy a Disney vacation membership. So we're massive Disney fans, my wife in particular, but me as well. Really, really big fans. We have holidayed to Disney World many, many times. And yeah, I've kind of made the decision that actually what would good look like for us in our future lives and financially, and owning a timeshare at one of the Disney properties out of Disney World in Orlando is part of that journey for us. So that's something that's very bespoke for us, and it might not be suitable for you. I'm sure it probably isn't suitable for you, but it is something that's really important to us. So it's forming a big part of our joint journey as a couple, to be able to have sort of live our wealthy and rich life and what we want it to look like in the future, our perfect life. This would be a part of it. So yeah, that's why we're using the money that goes into this to be able to help contribute towards that. But yeah, something that's really important, that if you have personal goals like that maybe sit outside of the conventional financial approach towards saving towards early retirement or just your retirement in general, make sure you allocate correctly in your portfolio what money's going towards that. And as I say, I'm probably a bit over indexed at the moment. I've got a bit too money sat in collectibles, so I'm not adding to that too much at the moment. I'm very much using my money to help grow my emergency fund and my savings and investments. And as I say, I've just moved to maxing out my pension contributions. So yeah, that's sort of something that's semi on hold at the moment. But if anyone here watching the video is into collectibles, you'll know that if something comes up and you really, really want it, it's quite hard to not indulge and actually add something to your collection. So yeah, it's sort of slowly growing in the background rather than a more conscious approach that I've got on my other areas of finance. But yeah, that's how I'm using also collectibles to help my overall portfolio. So yeah, that's where I am at. That is full transparency. That is my complete position at the moment. All of the categories I've got in my financial plan and where I'm at with them at the moment in terms of progress and what areas still need work. Hopefully covered that in this video, and hopefully you found it really interesting and can apply some of what's in here to your own situation. Now, please, please, please don't worry if your position is not exactly the same as the numbers you've seen here for me. That's not what this is about. This is about showing you how I structure my financial plan and looking towards my financial future, and hopefully inspiring you or giving you some useful information of how you can perhaps go away and look to shape your financial goals and where you're looking to get to. So yeah, hopefully this has been useful. So my priorities going forwards are going to be certainly increasing my emergency fund in 2026. That's going to be a really, really important part of what I'm looking to do. I'm also going to start increasing more and contributing more towards my investments outside of my pension. Once I've paid off some debt that we're currently carrying at the moment that we're working on, only a small amount, and you will have seen, again, being transparent, the debt's about £3,000 at the time of filming. So we're just looking between us to get that paid down as well, because once we're debt free, we can really, both of us, me and my wife, start powering into our savings and investments for the future. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. So emergency fund and saving and investments in 2026 are going to be the main areas of focus. But yeah, as always, if you like this video, then please do give it a like in itself. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's going to be loads of videos coming up breaking down in much more detail pretty much everything I've spoken about on this video. Plus, once a month, I also go through my budget spreadsheet and my investment spreadsheets in two separate videos, just to show you where I'm at, what progress I've made, what money I've contributed. So yeah, you can hopefully use it as a bit of a template for your own personal financial journey as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment if you've got any questions about the video, or even ideas and things you want covering in future videos. I'd love to hear from you, so please do let me know. But yeah, other than that, I will see you in the next video.